AITA for not supporting my brother's wedding. We barely talk ever since he and his ex-wife, Dana, divorced 2 years ago. My wife and I sided with Dana because he'd left her for his mistress and didn't even try to fight for custody of my 2 nephews 12 and 9. She's still like family to us and we're more involved in her life than my brother's. He wasn't happy that we stopped inviting him to our home for get-togethers because we always invited Dana and the kids instead. There was a lot of family drama. My parents took his side over this and we went low contact for a while. We only started seeing each other again a few months ago, but we aren't as close as we used to be. My brother has tried to talk to me more, but I'm only short and civil with him. It wasn't just the cheating that did it for me. It was also that he didn't care about being involved with his sons after they split. I heard he and the mistress are now engaged and they plan to have the wedding sometime next year. To my surprise, my brother asked me if I could be his best man since I did it before. He told me he understands we haven't been close in a while, but this is his wedding and he wants us to get past everything and be brothers again. I asked him if his sons were also going to the wedding and he was quiet for a few seconds before saying he hasn't talked to them in a long time. Didn't expect him to say yes, but I wanted to confirm for myself that he'd rather mend our relationship than the one he had with his kids. I told him he's my brother and while I do love him, I will never support the treatment of his kids or this marriage when all it did was cause pain to 3 innocent parties we care about and love. My wife is on my side here and I know there's no way I'll ever go, but it's hard to not feel like a dick when my entire life, my family has ingrained that belief that loyalty to blood comes before everything and we always support unconditionally. I know sometimes that's not a good way to think and I've tried hard to detach myself from that belief. It's been harder now when my parents won't stop talking about it and they can't believe after years I still chose to hurt my brother when all he wants is happiness. Yes, they're a bunch of hypocrites, but still, I can't get them out of my head and a part of me does feel like the bad guy for not being supportive during what's supposed to be the happiest day of his life. Basically, the entire family is looking at me like a traitor just like they did when they divorced. Story 2. AITA for not supporting my cousin's relationship. My younger cousin 23 female and I 27 female have been super close since she turned 16. We did most things together and she even lived with me for a bit when she turned 18. It's been great and I even see her as more of a little sister than a cousin. From ages 13 to 25, I dated and was engaged to Mark 27 male. My cousin knew him well. When I turned 25, Mark and I had a serious discussion about marriage and children and ended up breaking up. He had lied to me our entire adult relationship about wanting marriage and kids. It killed me. My cousin was there for me the entire time. You can probably see where this is going. A month ago, my cousin announced she was pregnant and engaged. I was excited for her until I went over for a celebratory family cookout and met her newly moved-in fiancé. Guess who it was? Yep, it was Mark. My world came crashing down and I just left. I didn't say anything, I just walked out. Family tried calling, my cousin tried calling and texting me, but I didn't answer anyone. After about a week, I finally answered my cousin's call. She told me she needed me to be there for her and she knew it was weird, but he was going to be family and I should be happy for her. I told her I couldn't support any of this and to please not contact me again. I now have family telling me what's done is done and I need to get over it because cousin is getting married and having a baby, that I need to think of her and that this is an exciting time for the family. I told everyone to fuck off and if they support this, not to contact me again because family wouldn't do this to each other. They called me a bitch and told me it's been 2 years, that no one owns a man, and I needed to shape up because this is happening. I blocked all of them. AITA. Story 3. AITA for refusing to show up to my 22 male dad's gay wedding. My parents were married for 27 years. My dad is 52 and my mom is 48. It was discovered about a year ago that my dad had been cheating on my mom for the last 4 years of their marriage with another man. My dad also had hooked up with numerous older men over the course of their marriage. My mom caught him in bed with his boyfriend. My dad said he was bi and they tried to work through it. It didn't work, as my dad was still fucking his now 24-year-old boyfriend on the side, and admitted he was gay. When I found out, I cut my dad out of my life. Over the past year I have let him back in. I love him, but I just can't get over what he did to my mom. He and his boyfriend have gotten engaged and my dad wants me to be his best man. I can't bring myself to this. I feel like it'd be betrayal on some level. I told him this. He broke down. He apologized for what he did to me, my little sister, and my mom. He said that he didn't want to hurt anyone with his actions. He said that he told his parents about just feelings towards men when he was my age, and they flipped. They threw him out, trashed all of his belongings and treated him like less than a person. That even his friends dropped him once it got out that he liked men. He said that he only felt like he had a normal life if he began dating and married a woman, and he did this with my mom. This story was heartbreaking, but I couldn't. I want to be empathetic, but I can't. He cheated on my mom for years and built a family with her knowing he wasn't into her. I told him I didn't care about all of that shit and that I would never be his best man and wouldn't go to the wedding. After telling my dad this, I received a very angry call from his boyfriend telling me how I'm a monster and an awful son. AITA. Story 4. AITA for not wanting my sister to be my maid of honor at my wedding or godmother to my baby. 4 years ago my sister, Izzy, was catfishing a guy, James, with my pictures. This only came to light as she had been asking him to move to our area, and James had done it, so she had to come clean. James and I were both there for this confession, and neither of us spoke to Izzy for a while after. 6 months later I saw James again. We got to talking and exchanged numbers. It was just friendly at first, but over time it grew into something more romantic. When we'd been together for about a year, we told Izzy, my brothers, and my divorced parents. Dad and brothers are happy I'm happy, but Izzy and Mum both flew off the handle. We've been together 3 years now. In this time, we have interacted mainly with Dad and brothers, and less so with Izzy and Mum. Izzy has had therapy and genuinely apologized to both of us, but the catfishing plus her reaction to our relationship hasn't made for a good relationship between all of us. James proposed early this year, and I accepted. We agreed on waiting to get married given everything going on, and then a month ago we found out I'm pregnant, so the wedding is officially a solid 2 or 3 years away. Despite us telling Mum this, she's been calling me to talk about wedding ideas regularly. Mum called today, again, to talk about bridesmaid dresses. During the conversation she said that not only does she expect Izzy to be my maid of honor, but also godmother to the baby I'm carrying. Her reasons for this are that Izzy is my sister and planning on making me her maid of honor when she marries, and that Izzy is already godmother to my 8-year-old son. I expressed discomfort with both of those ideas, and Mum asked why. I told her that given everything with Izzy and James I'm not sure this is the best idea. Mum then said that all of that was over 5 years ago. We said we'd forgiven her, and at some point you have to let bygone be bygones, especially as we accepted her apology and she's gone to therapy. And if she hadn't gotten James to move here, then we never would have met at all and the baby marriage wouldn't be happening at all, and that she was ashamed of me for excluding my sister over the past. Izzy has since contacted me, agreeing with Mum that I'm being unnecessarily harsh, and saying that she's apologized and it all worked out and she's not sure what else she can do to get me to get over it. AITA.